Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by BASF, where performance of Veltima fungicide can take your best result even farther. I am Allison Kinney. Making headlines today, not much has changed for the weather in South America, and the upcoming forecast is still looking dry. The dryness should be good for harvest progress, but at some point the weather will get too dry and start to cause problems. Allendale commodity broker Greg McBride gave an update on the latest conditions in Brazil and Argentina.
Yeah, very dry forecast in the 1 to 5 day. Only northern Brazil has a little bit of rain for the most part. The southern 2/3 of the entire country are dry. All of Argentina is dry. So harvest should move along pretty swiftly for those two countries over the next 5 days. 6 to 10 day does offer a little bit of rain for parts of eastern Argentina and southern Brazil. But for the most part, the bulk of the country of Brazil is dry.
McBride said Safrinha harvest progress in Brazil is still behind the average, but they have such a large crop and that is going to take longer than usual to harvest.
They're moving right along. It is still behind the 5-year average, well behind last year. So last year they were at 30% harvested by now. This is an extended period of time that they will harvest. This will take probably until September or so. But overall, it is right now 11% harvested for the second crop corn. The 5-year average puts them at 15. Like I said, the last year they were already at 30% done. But this is a big crop too. This is a record crop that they are harvesting. So this will take longer to harvest as well.
McBride added that soybean harvest in Argentina is basically done at this point.
Well, they are effectively done on soybeans, 99% complete as of this week. Obviously, 5-year average and last year would have been right about the same time they were done. So getting the last of it in the bin or in the bag for right now. So we won't be talking about that moving forward. But on the corn side of things, they are still moving along, about 2/3 done, 64% this week. That is just behind last year, which was 67, and the 5-year average is 68. So they're not lagging too much, just slightly behind the average and behind last year, but overall still moving right along in Argentina.
That again was Allendale commodity broker Greg McBride. Let's check in with our weekly update from the Ohio Soybean Council and your checkoff dollars at work.
For this week's update, Ohio Country Journal editor Brianna Smith visited with OSU Extension entomologist Dr. Kelly Tillman.
Kelly, what should we be on the lookout for as we head into summer here? What pests are coming to the top of your radar? What about some of those later planted crops, some of those soybeans that may have been replanted or didn't get in until late? Any concerns there?
Things could get interesting with late planted soybeans towards the end of the growing season. So September, if you still have fields that are green when other fields are drying down, those are going to be a magnet for certain insect pests. They're going to leave all the other fields and they're going to come into what's juicy and green. Two of the biggest types of pests we worry about are stink bugs. There's several species, but they all feed the same way. They feed directly on developing seeds, and also bean leaf beetles, which chew on pods and can cause seed damage that way and also open to the plant to disease. Those are two particular things that really get on the move when things are drying down and find what's green. So we're definitely going to be doing some education efforts for people to watch out for those towards the end of the season.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time. Again, my guest today was Dr. Kelly Tillman, the Ohio field crop entomologist, reporting for Ohio AgNet and Ohio's Country Journal. I'm Brianna Smith.
And thanks, Brianna. Today's update again brought to you by the Ohio Soybean Council and your soybean checkoff.
Also in the headlines today, the USDA will lead a trade mission to the Dominican Republic from July 13th through the 17th to expand market access and boost America's agricultural exports. The delegation includes 47 agribusinesses, trade organizations, and officials from Colorado, Montana, and Wisconsin Departments of Agriculture. USDA is committed to opening up more export opportunities for American agriculture, said Under Secretary for Trade and Foreign Affairs Michelle Beckering, who will lead the mission. This trade mission will connect U.S. exporters with key buyers, tapping into Latin America's growing demand for high-quality American products, supporting good rural prosperity, and keeping American agricultural products globally competitive. The Dominican Republic is the fourth largest market for U.S. agricultural exports in the Western Hemisphere and the top market within the Central America Free Trade Agreement Dominican Republic region. It's helped increase U.S. exports to the Dominican Republic to $2.2 billion in 2024. The U.S. supplies 44% of the country's agricultural imports. This market report is brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. July corn up 2 1/4 at 431 1/2. December corn up 3 3/4 at 437. March corn up 4 even at 452 3/4. July soybeans up 5 3/4 at 1056 1/4. November soybeans up 1 1/4 at 1049 1/4. July wheat down 8 1/4 at 547 3/4, and September wheat down 7 1/4 at 556 3/4. This is the Ohio AgNet.